Hey, it's so nice to see you. I'm so surprised. I got a little worked up when I said this might be the last of the time we're going to see you for a while.
Well, maybe not. You never know.
I have to say that we hadn't recorded in a long time, and recording these 4 songs was really a kick. It may have whet our appetites.
Sharon, tell me the story about how you guys met.
Well, Bram and I knew each other from our early folky days in the coffee house scene. We knew each other not well, but we knew each other. Lois and I met when we were young mothers through a mutual friend who knew that we were both doing music for children in different environments, and she introduced us. And I brought her into Mariposa in the schools, which was where I was deeply entrenched. And she brought me into the library where she was doing a music for children program, and we became friends and colleagues. And then we were all at Mariposa in the schools singing and decided to make a record together, the 3 of us.
I had been a folkie
Yeah.
in the clubs and in the folk festivals. And then I played the guitar for Alan Mills. Now, he was a famous guy who had a regular radio show for children on the CBC that went across Canada. And at the time, he was a big star, and he asked me to play the guitar for him. And he liked me a lot because not only was I playing it as a guitar job, but I was playing it because I was really interested in what he was doing.
Right. Alan Mills made some really amazing recordings.
He
of live
did.
music too, yeah.
He did. So
And
I
Bram
was,
still sings lots of those songs.
absolutely. And then I was a school teacher for a number of years. I was a grade 6 teacher, and then I was a special education, music, and then I was in Mariposa in the schools, and that's when I came back in contact with Sharon and with Lois, and we decided, let's make a record together and then go back to our own careers.
Sharon, when did you know that this was not going to be, let's go back to our own careers? When did you know that this thing had legs?
It's really interesting. It was sort of a process. I mean, we did go back to doing individual stuffs, but we kept getting called upon to do, trio stuff and to travel. And the record came out in September of 78, and in January of 79, I got a call from Vancouver to come to the Vancouver Children's Festival. And I think that was understanding the reach was a turning point for us.
The reach of CBC radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah, buddy.
It's true. It's true. We owe a lot to CBC. They really got to know, they got to tell Canada about us.
So what does it feel like? I mean, I want to point this out. You release your first album. It eventually goes triple platinum. 1 year later, you're performing at Lincoln Center in New York. Bram, how does it feel to be blowing up in the world of kids' music?
Just another job.
Yeah, right.
You don't realize it at the time. One thing leads to another we didn't jump from obscurity to Lincoln Center.
No.
Not really.
No, there was a process.
No, but you meet somebody who's involved with this part of it, said, how would you like to come? Our first Lincoln Center appearance
was out of doors.
It was in their forecourt. It wasn't in their big concert hall.
Right.
It ended up being sometime later, but the first time it was basically on the street.
But then many years later, we played at the Palace Theatre, and that was beyond thrilling. And I remember probably you, Bram, standing out in the middle of the intersection taking pictures of the marquee.
Yeah.
We got excited about all that stuff.
Well, Palace Theatre is historic. I was in Mickey Rooney's dressing room.
And I was in
Judy Garland's.
Judy Garland's. Cool.
It's the kind of thing you can only really think about at this stage in your careers when things are winding down a little bit. But Sharon, I'll go to you. Why do you think Sharon and Lois and Bram took off the way it did?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think there were a number of factors. Our goal really was to bring good music, using good musicians, good arrangers, quality stuff to our audience. And it was important for us that the audience be not just children, but their families. Mm-hmm. And so that was the goal. And I think the fact that parents could listen to the music that their children were listening to and not run screaming from the room. And the other thing was engagement. The notion was always to bring music to them so they could take it into their own lives and their own hearts and have it forever. And I think that's a big factor.
My sister, I was telling you guys before, my sister won the Juno for the Children's Album of the Year a few years ago in the Swingin' Bells. And I asked her that question too. I said, so what's the secret behind all this? And she said, I don't really know. But she said, I think it has to be family music. Like the parents need to like it too.
Absolutely. The subtitle of our first record, One Elephant, Deux Elephants, right from the beginning, was a children's record for the whole family.
Right.
And that's been the subtitle of everything we've done since.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Q. I'm speaking with Sharon Hampson and Bram Morrison. Yes, Sharon and Bram of Sharon, Lois, and Bram. But I realized I didn't know your last names until today, and I'm willing to say that's not incredibly uncommon.
No,
I just found out myself.
in one of our live shows, we said in 1978 we lost our last names, and that was just fine. Of course, our names have been presented in many different ways. Like tell Tom about the healthy one.
Oh, right. A parent came to us and said, I don't know anything about you, but my kids thought I thought through my kids it was a program about healthy eating, because I kept hearing them saying, we're going to see Sharing Loads of Bran. I said,
Sort of, but not.
I'll take that.
It could be a good album title. Not
I
going to lie to
know.
you. It could be a good album title. So Bram, 40 years, you're winding things down. This will be your last year of touring. I know you've said this isn't like Elton John's final tour. Like after this, there's a good chance you probably are actually done.
Yeah, sometime in the spring or so next year. We've got some concerts planned for that.
For the East Coast. We're
the
eager
East
about
Coast.
coming to the East Coast.
And then my wife and I, we have some ambitions to see some of the rest of the world, which we haven't been able to do yet. And I plan to be far away for a while.
How are you feeling about it, Sharon?
Well, I'm mixed about it, because I think it's a gift to get to work at something that gives you immense pleasure and also gives pleasure to the people who are on the other side. So, I will miss that. But I have a feeling that we're not done singing. Once you sing, you can't ever stop singing. And we will be called upon for special things, and I'm sure that we'll be keen to do that.
Well, we'll be singing at the releases of the 4 songs that we've recorded in the last year, and those will be spaced out over the next year or so.
And particularly a year from next fall, the release of the new Sharon, Lois, and Bram Skinnamarink book.
Oh,
which
very
is
exciting.
very exciting.
So you're not hanging up the elephant yet.
No.
Bram, how are you feeling about this? I mean, this is the end of touring though for a while.
We've done a lot.
Yeah.
We've been everywhere. We've been everywhere in Canada, that's for sure, and a lot of the United States.
I hear people on the other side of the microphone saying, "But you didn't come to our town." But we have been to a lot of
We
Canadian
have been to
places.
a lot of towns. I mean, I started with Alan Mills way back then, and we were in places in Saskatchewan like Carrot River and Bean Fate. Mm-hmm.
I know Bean Fate.
Well, yeah, it used to be French. It used to be Bien Fait. Mm-hmm. But now it's Bean Fate.
I know. Yeah, I know. Andy Schaaf is a great songwriter from Bean Fate. Shout out Bean Fate if you're listening. Send us a tweet. Let us know you're listening. Sharon, I was speaking with Fred Penner the other day, which is a weird thing I can say out loud. But I was speaking with Fred Penner the other day, and he said that it wasn't until his audience started to get around my age that he started to realize the true impact of
Yes.
that,
He's right.
his generation.
He's absolutely right.
Absolutely true. We meet lots of people your age who have grown up on us, and often when we meet, they get emotional.
Yeah.
They get teary. And I say to them, don't be embarrassed about this. This is all about happy family childhood memories. That's a good thing. So it's true. We see those people, and it's very gratifying.
You must understand it, though, Bram. People get a bit emotional when they see you.
Oh, absolutely.
It must happen to you all the time.
It does. It does. And I've seen people out there with no kids in our audience.
Oh.
They're there because they want to be, and they're 27, 32 years old and doing peanut butter with all the actions and loving it. Now, the nice thing about doing folk music is that it gets passed down from generation to generation. And if you're 3 years old, She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain is a brand new song.
Oh, wow.
And the next 3-year-old will feel the same way.
Right. And yeah, you're right. And you guys have never been about getting up and doing a performance. It's about getting kids to dance along with you and sing along with you.
Yeah.
This has been important to you since day one?
Yes, and being real people on the stage. And boy, if the kids don't like something, they let you know. Tell Tom about Halifax and the little kid at the back.
Oh, we had just finished singing Hey Che Che Kule, which is a very loud and raucous drumming thing from Africa. And I had to sing Candyman Salty Dog after that, and which is a very quiet song. So it was my job to transition them from the loud raucous one to the quiet one. And I said, boy, that was a great song. I really loved it. And a little 5-year-old voice from the audience said, I hated it. Kids are
Love those
kids.
stories.
They'll tell you how they felt about it. In the 1980s, the three of you guys got really involved with UNICEF. You helped raise $3 million to help fight child hunger. The three of you were given the Danny Kaye Humanitarian Award by UNICEF. That must have been very meaningful.
It was thrilling. It began in 1988, 10 years after we had started, and we thought, we've been so lucky and so fortunate, we need to do something to give back. And we made the connection with UNICEF, and then we spent many years, including a trip to Bolivia, to a village in Bolivia, to make a documentary about the work that UNICEF does, which is such important work. They don't just do for people, they empower them to do for themselves. So we were proud of that.
Are kids the same over the years? Are kids the same as they were in the 70s as they are now?
Well, there are two answers to that question. One answer is no, because they've got a lot of stuff that they didn't have then. They have all these screens of various sizes that they're glued to much of the time. And so their brains are small focused.
Really?
But once you get them into the concert hall with the invitation to sing and join in, they're just like they were generations ago.
Yeah. They respond in exactly the same way. Invite them in, encourage them to sing. You don't even have to encourage them. They jump in right away. And so do their parents.
Feel free to say you don't want to talk about this, because I would completely understand. But it's been a good few years now since you lost Lois. Since you lost
3.
Lois, 3 years since you lost Lois Lilienstein.
But
Yes.
she was gone before then.
Right.
In 1998, her husband died, and it saddened her so deeply that she said, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
And she stopped.
She stopped doing it. And Sharon and I said, well, we're not. And so we decided to do it, just the two of us together and other musicians who joined us. And we've been equal time as a duo as we were as a trio.
It's sort of astounding.
It really is.
Yeah.
I never would have thought.
But you need to know that we weren't just musical colleagues. We were friends. Our families are all connected. So,
To this day.
Yeah. Her son and her granddaughter are part of our lives. We stay in touch. They come, they visit, we do things together. So we're very strongly, and when Lois wasn't performing, we still were spending time together and doing stuff together. So
And she would come back occasionally to
Yeah.
do special things with us.
yeah, we did a TV special, 25 years of Skinnamarink, which she did with us.
And when we opened a park, or
playground.
we had a playground named after us, and then a music garden named after us right here in Toronto, Davisville and Mount Pleasant. And when it was inaugurated, Lois was there too. That may have been her
It was
last
one of the
public
last
appearance.
things, yeah, which was great.
Hey, it must have been so hard to lose her.
It's
I
hard.
can only
It's
imagine,
hard.
yeah.
It's sad. She really, her life was limited for many years. She struggled without Ernest.
Well, then she got a doggie.
Oh.
And then she
Rosie.
got a granddaughter, and that she really lived for her son and granddaughter.
I'm sure she's still on your mind even now.
Oh
when you're
yes,
singing.
of
Absolutely.
course.
Well-
and people miss her. People in the audience miss her. They tell us.
Well, we're going to go play some music, I think.
Yay!
Yeah. Now you're a Newfoundlander.
I'm
I
a Newfoundlander,
understand.
yeah. I am.
And we are lovers of Newfoundlanders.
Well, who's not?
Exactly.
Well, I keep encouraging people to say, go to Newfoundland.
There's nothing like it.
No, they say, well, we went to Nova Scotia, but we never got to Newfoundland. I said, take that extra step, and you're
know.
going to be in a different world.
I get so many people saying to me, hey, you're from Newfoundland. I go, I've been everywhere else.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
You know?
wrong.
I know. You haven't been anywhere.
We went to Fogo for the first time.
Oh, really?
Just
Yeah.
that past year. when
Fogo's
we
a little
were-
island, by the way, off the East Coast of
Absolutely. We
Newfoundland.
had the greatest time.
It's a beautiful. So we're going to do a Newfoundland song.
We are.
And then I think we might do the hit.
The hit. Yay.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Perfect.
Anytime.
Bram taught me how to play Skinamarink Dinky Dink earlier, and I'm very nervous about it. But
He's
we're
a
gonna-
quick study.
So can we, before we do that, thank you so much. Not just for coming on the show, but thanks for everything.
Oh, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tom.
Thanks.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you for you.
Thank you, but thank you for our childhood.
Yay. And you turned out okay.
I didn't,
worked.
It fooled me.
besides playing the banjo, everything worked out pretty
I
well
love
for
the
me.
banjo.